Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Living Life at LifeU. I am your host, Dr. Veronica Garcia, and today I am joined by an amazing faculty member of the university and a really honestly essential piece of the school because of the way that he works and the way that he presents himself to the students. Mr. James Osburn, hi, welcome. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
I'm so happy, so excited to have you here. And the reason why I say it's so important is because I feel like even in this conversation, we can go from English a español y volver al inglés and so forth. And that's for a beautiful reason. What is your role in the university?
I am a Spanish teacher. Mm-hmm. I teach Spanish 111, 112. Mm-hmm. And also I teach English, introductory English classes. Mm-hmm. So language.
Yeah. So important.
That's important.
Yeah. Very cultural. English is my second language. So I love that I get to have this conversation with you because having moved here directly from Puerto Rico, really knowing just the basics of English, trying to go by with the slang of Georgia and all the things in between and everybody talking so fast, I was most of the time just staring at people.
You've done really well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I worked really hard on this. Thank you. So what inspired you to just be so into languages?
Well, when I was in high school, mm-hmm. the Cuban refugees started coming into the United States, and some of them came to my high school. I met them, made friends with them, went over to their houses, met their families. And so that's what ignited my desire to learn Spanish. So I really focused on it in high school, and then I majored in Spanish in college.
Wow. And where did you live at that time?
Atlanta.
Right here?
Yes.
Oh,
Atlanta,
look at
Georgia.
us.
Yep.
Look at us. Another beautiful gem from just down the street. We don't get to meet those very often.
Right. So
that's amazing. So you started getting involved in languages in high school, and then in undergraduate you focused in Spanish itself. What are some of those highlights from what you learned when you were an undergrad that you still use today?
Well, I basically used that time to master the grammar mm-hmm. and just the ability to communicate, to speak, read. And that, of course, opened the door for me to go into the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
So after I graduated, I applied to the Peace Corps, got accepted, and went to Colombia, South America, for 2 years.
Wow.
So then Spanish just opened so many doors for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it opened the door for me to get a major that I really enjoyed in college. It opened the door to the Peace Corps. When I got home, after the 2 years, I was able to get a federal employee job mm-hmm. with the Department of Health and Human Services, mm-hmm. and Spanish helped me with that, and I used it a lot as an employee with HHS. Mm-hmm. And then after I retired from that, I decided to get my master's degree in teaching foreign languages at KSU. So I did that, and so I taught for a year in Spanish at the high school level, and then after that, I got my job here as a Spanish teacher.
How long have you been at Life?
6 years.
Wow.
Starting year 7.
Wow, congratulations. That's beautiful and amazing. Yeah. I love that. I did not get the opportunity to have a class with you, but I'm now very interested to have that because of your life experience. That's awesome.
So, and I try to communicate to my students, the value of being bilingual, just not only for personal enrichment, but professionally. It just opens so many doors. Mm-hmm. And I just, so not only do I teach them Spanish, mm-hmm. the curriculum through the textbook, but I also teach them how to learn a second language. Mm-hmm. And I encourage them to be lifelong learners and to let Spanish be a part of that, to continue to not just think of the class that they're taking here as a launch pad to continue mastering the Spanish language with the goal of being bilingual. Because, it opened so much, it enriched my life so much, and I want to try to communicate that to my students as well.
That's beautiful. I have two just burning questions right now in my brain. One of them being, what would be one of those experiences that you had while living in South America and Colombia, that you say like it has stayed with you for forever since?
Wow. Well, the experience of, I was the only American in the town for like most of the time. And so just knowing what it's like to be a minority in a situation like that, I can relate to other people who are coming here from overseas or other minorities because I know what they're going through, the culture shock and everything that happens when you move from one culture to another. So I hope I can use that experience of just the knowledge of the shock of being dropped into another culture, and what you have to do to cope with that, and how you can use it to your advantage. I think I'm able to use that in my classroom with a lot of my international students. I understand what's happening with them. I can really relate. You know, they're here. They came here from some other culture, and it's not easy.
Right.
Everything is different. Everything you see, smell, taste. So it is a shock. So I empathize with them in that regard, and I hope I'm able to help them.
That's beautiful. I love that you get to be a resource to our students in that capacity. I would have given anything and everything to have a resource like that. So thank you. Thank you so much for just being open to your students reaching out to you and kind of connecting with you in that way and to expressing that experience that you've had. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing that. The second burning question that I have, understanding that you teach how to become bilingual, what are some key points that you can advise people to have when they are starting the idea as an adult to be exposed to a whole different language?
Well, I tell them in our class we focus on the grammar, which is extremely important in mastering a second language. And then immersion. They need, outside of class, they need to immerse themselves in the language. Ultimately, fluency only comes that way.
Yeah.
So with Spanish, for example, they have so many benefits. Television, movies, music, relationships with people. They have so many opportunities for immersion, and they should take advantage of it. I encourage them, to continue studying the grammar, work on that part of it, but also to just dive in and make relationships with people, get into the music, watch movies, television, and just keep yourself submerged. And to master a second language, you have to have the desire to do it. And then you have to be persistent. You cannot it is a major undertaking, and you have to be motivated to do it and dedicated. So again, the lifelong learning thing, I encourage my students, be lifelong learners and let Spanish be a part of that for you.
Absolutely. I love that. And I am completely biased, but I think that everybody should learn Spanish. I mean, it is the main language in so many countries in Central South America and some of the Caribbean islands as well. And also you have it in Europe. You have it in so many places around the world. So to be able to, yes, of course, there's lingo that changes from country to country, and that's normal, just like lingo changes from Georgia to New York, right?
Right.
But it's such a beautiful thing to all of a sudden just be, in my hometown and have anybody come in and, oh my gosh, you just spoke my language. That's so honoring and so loving. And thank you for doing so. Yeah.
Well, if they master standard Spanish, if you spend a week or two in another country, you begin to adapt to what you're talking about, the differences in the sayings and the vocabulary. So, absolutely, mastering Spanish would enrich a person's life so much. Whatever you decide to do in life, if you are bilingual, you're going to do it better. you're going to do it better, and it's going to be more fulfilling to you. You're going to be more effective, and you're going to be a much more valuable employee than someone who only speaks one language. So, yeah, I continue to preach that sermon the whole quarter as I'm teaching the language itself.
Yeah.
So I teach two things, the language and how to learn the language.
That's beautiful. Oh, what a goal and a duty of you to take both of those on. I thank you for doing that. I also understand that you are a leader in your community to help Hispanic populations as they're coming in. What is exactly does that look like in your day-to-day activities?
I am the director of the Hispanic ministry in my church. So we have a Bible study every Sunday morning, which I teach in Spanish to adults who don't speak English. But listen, I'm almost like a social worker because, like, when they have troubles with, immigration or, taxes, interfacing with different agencies in the country, they ask me to help. Sometimes I translate. I've translated in court, translated in hospitals. Yeah. I mean, with my students in my Bible class. So that's how I'm involved right now. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you so much for just falling so in love with the Spanish language as I am, even though I'm biased because I grew up with it. But thank you so much for exposing yourself and just taking it by the reins, and also for it to have started in a journey from just having immigrants coming into your community and you being able to just receive them with open arms. That's so beautiful. Thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you for having me today.
I am so excited, so excited the students get to connect with you and be around you. And I hope to be able to serve with you, alongside you soon. I'm so excited that you're that resource at the university.
Thank you.
I hope you have a beautiful rest of your quarter. Mucho éxito en todo lo que haces.
Te agradezco mucho, que Dios te bendiga.
Igual a usted, muchas gracias. Y nos vemos pronto en el próximo episodio de Living Life a Life View. Bye bye.
Adiós.